These cars suck. They don't go fast, they don't go far, and they're expensive. In fact, there's really nothing good about them at all. Oh, except that they could save the planet from destruction.
Honestly, do you see a future for these? You see?
I see it as the only future.
So if you don't like breathing poison and going slowly extinct, you might want to think about getting an electric car. One day, when you get around to it. No rush.
These are cars. They burn fossil fuels, emit toxic fumes, cause smog, and can even cause global warming. Other than that, they're great. This is an electric car. It doesn't emit toxic fumes, it doesn't create smog. In fact, it doesn't even have an exhaust pipe. So why don't we all have one?
Howard Hutt has one. But then he's the head of the Electrical Vehicle Society of Canada, so he's special.
I'll never give up. I want to see electric vehicles on the road.
Okay, Howard, now in an electric car, I still have to do up the seatbelt, yeah?
Yes, I'm afraid so.
Just put on the clutch and turn the key, and that's it?
Yep.
All right. And is that on? That's on now, huh?
Yes, you're on.
Okay. Wow, it's so quiet. It's hard to, does it just drive like a regular car? Hey, we're out of gas.
This thing started out in life as a regular old Pontiac Firefly, but it had all its innards removed and replaced. Now it's a battery-powered electric vehicle.
I am impressed with the pickup.
Well, the motor itself has plenty of torque, and it's, particularly at low RPM.
Now, if I want to go out and get an electric vehicle, how do I do that, Howard?
You can't. Battery vehicles aren't on the market. They're now making some hybrids available.
Well,
Commission somebody to build it is all that you can do nowadays.
Honestly, do you see a future for these? You see?
I see it as the only future.
So how does it work? Well, very simply. An electric motor has three parts: a coil, brushes, and a big magnet. As the coil goes around, the brushes either make contact or they don't. If they do, electricity travels to the coil and makes it into an electromagnet. That is drawn towards the big stationary magnet, getting closer and closer until the brushes don't touch anymore. Then the next brush makes contact, and the next coil starts doing the same thing, and so on, and so on.
And so on, 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 and so on.
This concept is not very complicated. In fact, some of the very first cars were electric.
So this is the electric. This is, what year is this car?
1903 Columbus Electric.
Okay.
As far as I know, it's the only one that exists that's like it.
Wow.
I'm not gonna.
Whoa, hello.
I'm not gonna do nothing to you. Just
Easy, Ron.
imagine the lady carrying that thing in her purse.
What's that do?
That completes the circle.
Oh, okay.
Where's your, here we are.
That's the
Life.
sign that there's...
There's life.
Nice.
Yeah,
Okay, so combination.
Yep.
There we go.
So look at that.
So Ron, when did the electric cars start sort of come on the scene?
Oh, they're probably late 1800s.
You're kidding?
Yep.
When were they starting to work on the combustion engine? Was it around the same time?
Oh, yeah.
So these were they were contemporaries.
Absolutely.
Why is there this rudder yoke thing instead of a steering wheel? Is that just this particular car?
Oh no, the early cars, a lot of them had just a tiller. Later on, they all got steering wheels. But
Who was this good for? Who was this good car good for?
this was great for a lady to drive. In cities, the ladies would be able to drive something that they didn't have to crank and didn't have to fight. You know,
Right.
Didn't have to be a mechanic to drive it. They just push the lever ahead, the car would go. That's all.
Oh, were they marketed for women?
Well, it seemed that way.
Who knew electric cars? Chicks love them.
And here's the reason why. The crank. Not only is starting a car with a crank hard work, but you have to make sure you retard the spark correctly.
Come on, little girl, are you gonna run for me this time?
Now, I have no idea what retarding the spark means, but if you get it wrong, apparently the car will let you know.
It kicks back and busts your arm. That's what it does. Very simple. No, it doesn't say, sorry, I'm gonna do it or nothing like that. It just does it. And when you're yelping around with a broken arm, you can't very well start it after that.
And I'm going to give this a shot?
And you're gonna do it.
All right. And you
Show
move
us.
well back out of the
Sure,
way, right?
Absolutely. Hang on to it tight. Don't let it get out of your hand because it might hit me in the mouth. Okay.
It's good. Well, it's got to come through my head to hit you in the mouth. So I just...
Put your thumb around it, not over it. Otherwise, when it kicks back, it'll bust your thumb off. So, put your...
Like bust it or bust it off?
Well, it's hard to say. We don't want to experiment to find
No,
out, do
okay. So I would hold it here in sort of the
Nice.
ape grip.
we? Yeah, that's it. Give her. Pretend the ladies are watching. It's up to you.
It does catch there, huh?
Doesn't it, though?
Here we go. Oh! I missed it that time. All right, here we go. You ready, Ron? I'm going to crank this.
Give her. Never mind the girls.
Right, the girls. Never mind the girls in their long hoop skirts.
Right. There now, look at that.
That started.
Boy, you got her. She's
That started
running.
that
She's
time.
running.
Wicked.
You get used to it.
Yeah?
What are you
We
talking
have this
about?
thing we call the key.
This is the electric starter. It was invented in 1912 and made it possible to start a car without breaking your arm. That's a good idea. But for the electric car, it was the beginning of the end. When Henry Ford invented the assembly line for the Model T, he could have gone electric. It would have been easy. But gasoline was just a waste product. People used to burn it off to get rid of it. So he picked the gasoline engine. His wife was driving a Dearborn electric, but Henry took it away from her. Nice going, Hank. With cheap gas and an electric starter, the internal combustion engine was looking pretty sweet indeed. And although it gave off fumes and smelled kind of nasty, it was clear to everyone that there would never be so many of them that it would ever become a big problem, right? Right. The electric car didn't completely go away. In the 60s, there was an electric version of the Renault Dauphine. It was called the Kilowatt. Probe and Gale came up with the idea of buying up old Dauphines and refurbishing them as electric cars.
When we convert a vehicle such as this, we remove the engine, we leave the transaxle in place, and we attach the electric drive motor to it, and it connects to the shaft. So we're reusing most of the major components.
This is what a new one looks like, and it's a pretty sweet ride.
Gives you a bit of an eerie feeling at first because it's so quiet, but once you get used to it, it's really nice because it's just a very smooth, quiet reaction to your inputs.
Now, of course, these things are pretty much collector's items, and a few fancy antiques aren't really helping the environment a whole lot. But Probin is moving on to a new project. He's designed a brand new electric vehicle, the Zen.
The majority of people who live in cities, electric vehicles will be just perfect. Obviously, if you want to drive great distances between cities, an electric vehicle is not for you.
The Zen doesn't go very fast. It's classified as a low-speed vehicle, which means it's only allowed to go 40 kilometers an hour. And it doesn't go far. It's designed for driving around the city.
There is a huge segment of the population that could actually utilize an electric vehicle. There just are none available. We're hoping to try to change that.
So, can you buy a Zen? Well, no. Low-speed vehicles aren't recognized in Ontario, so they'll be building them here, but selling them in the States. Too bad.
The main problem with electric cars has always been the battery. They take a long time to recharge, and quite frankly, the heaviest hell. Now, if electric cars could borrow technology from some popular device which uses a light, portable battery that is easy to recharge, then maybe...
Cut.
Sorry, shit.
Please.
I was interrupted by my cell phone.
They're called lithium-ion batteries, and they were developed for cell phones, laptops, MP3 players, PDAs, GPS devices, handheld phaser guns, and time travel portals. I'm just messing with you. There's no such thing as handheld phaser guns. At Electrovaya, they've invented a battery that has more power per kilo than any other battery in the world, or out of it. They supply them to NASA for the space program. They figured that if they could make an electric car with a few of those in it, it would really kick some gas.
What you see here is batteries which we are making for NASA's spacewalk application. We feel proud in saying that we can use these same batteries in a spacewalk, and we can also use the same batteries in an automotive application, in a car, or in a laptop.
Lithium rechargeable battery is sort of the holy grail for the battery technology, because if you look at the periodic table, lithium is the most negative element. So lithium is absolutely the most powerful couple you can produce. It's essentially a polymer technology. Us being fundamentally science and chemistry-oriented guys, we shudder because gasoline is such a fantastic material, hydrocarbons. The last thing you should do is to burn it. It should be made into polymers or other materials. So lowest grade use for a hydrocarbon is to burn the thing.
This is the Maya with Electrovaya batteries inside it. It can go 300 kilometers on a charge. And there's even technologies that will let you recharge it in 15 minutes. So whatever disadvantage the electric car had, the Maya pretty well has overcome it. So why haven't we got one? Well, the good news is that the government has made a major commitment to getting cars like this on the streets. Here's the bad news. I'm talking about the government of Norway. Here, we're still waiting. The world has had a long-running love affair with the car. But in the 70s, the relationship began to sour. First, the price of gas started to go up, and some people were suggesting that we might even run out one day.
Then scientists started talking about global warming. Who's to blame? Cows? Maybe trees? Interesting theories. Then someone thought, hey, maybe burning gasoline in huge quantities is a tiny little problem.
Just a nutty, crazy little idea, which of course took root in, where else? California. In California, they actually passed a law stating that by the year 2006, 50% of all new vehicles sold would have to be zero emissions. That's a lot of new cars that someone was going to sell. Suddenly, General Motors decided it was time to design an electric car, and the EV1 was born.
I have a magical code here I enter. And then I hit the run button. Okay, here we go in the electric car. This is my favorite car in the whole wide world. It'll go from 0 to 60 miles an hour in less than 9 seconds. Okay, on your mark, get set, go.
Now that looks like a good car. Where can I get one?
60. On Saturday, it'll be just as good as it was on Friday, except on Saturday, it won't be mine anymore.
Well, the thing is, GM didn't actually sell the EV1. They only leased it. And in the meantime, the lobbying had started to defeat that nasty little law requiring them to build clean cars. The law finally got defeated in 2002. And that was the end of the EV1.
Right now the leases are coming up, and most of them have now gone back to General Motors.
We say that they're going to the metal crusher. We don't know precisely where they're going, but they're taking them off the road. They will not renew the lease. We tried. We offered them deposits. We offered to release them from liability, and if it quit running, they wouldn't have to repair it. Then they say, well, you know, we don't want to provide the parts or whatever, but the exact same drivetrain is available in a Chevy S10 truck. They did sell those. So it's not like there's some bar to selling them. They apparently just don't want them on the road. And one by one, the leases are coming up and they're being taken off the road. My lease is up in August, and that's the end of it.
Once the law didn't require car manufacturers to make clean cars anymore, they just stopped. And all the EV ones that were taken back were taken out into the desert and put out of their misery.
And why would they do that? I mean, obviously
They
there's...
didn't want electric vehicles to become popular.
Even though they would be the manufacturers of them.
That's right. They
And
still
why
don't,
would that be?
because the service department wouldn't get enough business.
So this, you're telling me this engine, an electric engine, would require less...
Much less.
less...
In 100,000 kilometers, you need to check the brushes.
How many moving parts in an electric...
One,
as opposed to what in a combustion engine?
750.
Wow.
They don't want anybody to know how wonderful electric vehicles are. From a car maker's standpoint, the electric vehicle doesn't make them money in the ongoing sale of parts. Yeah, so the maintenance on an electric motor is very simple. Just change the brushes. There's your brush. Okay, what you're looking for on this is you want to make sure it's longer than about here. And it'll take it about 40 or 50,000 kilometers to get to that point. That's the great thing about these electrics. There's very little maintenance. The set of brushes for this motor, I believe, is in the range of about $20.
Neil Gover has been converting a typical pickup truck into an electric car, and he's doing it on his own, in his driveway.
If you've got a good mechanical sense, it's easy. You disconnect everything, you drain all the fluids out of the engine, and recycle them. And it's actually the fun part. It's what I refer to as getting the stinky bits out. And once you get the engine, everything disconnected, the engine pulled, then you go at it with a pressure washer, clean it all out, because it's not going to be dirty again.
Neil's been working on a manual to allow high school automotive classes to do the same thing. You know, it's funny, most people are trying to keep teenagers off the streets.
I think they all understand the bottom line concept and get alternative fuel sources, but for the most part, these guys are just excited to see the whole project. It's like a large go-kart, if you wish.
It's in its final stages now. It's just a matter of a few more weeks.
We still have to install the battery box on top of this motor and then wire about 12 batteries up and then hook all the batteries up to the motor.
I was what could be loosely called the pusher, the instigator to get it going in the first place, and collected the team, preaching the gospel of electric vehicles.
Maybe these guys will see roads full of electric vehicles in their lifetime. It could happen. Monty Gisborne has been interested in electric vehicles for years. He distributes electric scooters from Taiwan. He mows his lawn with an electric lawn tractor from the 70s. He built his own electric snowmobile. And at his cottage, he runs an electric boat, which is quiet enough to actually hear the call of the wild. He's a true believer, but he drives a Prius. It's not a true electric, but it is a gas-electric hybrid.
They're electric power, gasoline power, both, or neither. It has a very powerful computer which decides moment by moment what should be used as the primary propulsion of the vehicle, or whether a combination of the two should be used. And it's all designed around maximizing the efficiency of the vehicle. I think it's an excellent design system. I don't think it's the ultimate. I think it's a great step towards what I'll call the ultimate, which to me is getting away from gasoline entirely.
Monty became the Ontario distributor for the Dynasty low-speed vehicle from Vancouver, and he figured out a place where they could be used, in Ontario's provincial parks. First of all, they don't have to drive long distances. Secondly, the speed limit in a park is 40 kilometers per hour anyway. And most of all, these electric cars could replace gas vehicles that spend most of their day idling, which is really inefficient, or unregulated things like gators that pollute like crazy, in a place the whole point of which is protecting the environment. How perfect is that?
One time while I was camping in Balsam Lake Provincial Park, I thought, why not talk to the people here and see if they're interested, if there's some sort of buy-in. And I approached them and offered to loan it to them. They used it for a 2-month period in the summer and absolutely fell in love with it and thought, yeah, this works.
It is a quiet vehicle. Our enforcement team did use it. And you could say it was sort of a stealth mode where, since the vehicle doesn't make a lot of noise, you could travel around the park undetected.
Pretty soon, Parks Canada bought 12 of them. They've been using them for 4 years. Clean energy, conservation, it all fits together. Until one morning when Monty got an email from the Ministry of Transport. Apparently, the roads in parks fall under the Highways Act, even though the speed limit is only 40 kilometers per hour, and under the Highways Act, low-speed vehicles aren't allowed because they only go 40. So the dynasty had to go.
As far as the zero-emission vehicle movement goes, it's a kick in the face is what it is. I'm angered by it because myself and others are out there bringing really good products into the market. And to think that the province says, no, you can't do that. They have to continue using a gasoline vehicle when this low-speed electric vehicle works so well. It's disconcerting, and it makes you wonder whether the people who are looking out for you, i.e. your government, really have your best interests in mind.
Well, electricity is clean, it's cheap, the electric car works, and everyone wants one. But somehow their time just never seems to come.
There isn't a lot of incentives out there for people to build zero-emission vehicles or other products, zero-emission boats. The incentive isn't there, and it has to start with the government. And who's the government? Well, it's us.
So why are we still living in a world filled with internal combustion engines? Why are you still driving one? Why am I still driving one? If saving the world isn't reason enough for you, remember this. The chicks love them. Nice day for a walk.